So Jacob Mizorowski, huh? We talked about this yesterday, that this was a tough debut for Spencer Jones. Obviously, we're going to get into Spencer Jones here and just sort of discuss what we saw, what we liked, maybe what we didn't. But it was actually hard to find much that you liked today if you're a Yankees fan. This was just not a good baseball game. I had in my notes, Jacob Mizorowski was good. Yankees hitters were bad, but it's like, if we'd played that game all over again, would it have gone any different? I'm not so sure. We were just completely overmatched from start to finish. When you throw 104 miles an hour from the first pitch of the game, you have a slider. That's what they like to call it. Jake, I don't call that a slider. I think that's a cutter. If it's 96 miles an hour, it's a cutter. It doesn't have time to move the way that a typical slider would, but I'll give it credit where it's due. If Jacob Mizorowski figures out how to get a fastball to go the other direction, like a sinker or a two-seamer, I think we might be done for. He was hitting location. He was blowing guys away. Timing, obviously, everyone was late. If he decided to use the slider, we were early, or not pulling the trigger at all and striking out looking. And I know, Jake, before we went live, you were like, I like some of the at-bats that Spencer Jones had. Even when he struck out, I like the at-bats. And it was kind of funny because if we're being honest, did anyone outside of Jose Caballero even look like a big league hitter today against Mizorowski? Sometimes you're the bug and sometimes you're the windshield. As good of a start as we've gotten off to, we were the bug today. Just completely bulldozed. And when you saw what the first inning looked like, right? Mizorowski gets it started. We're in Milwaukee. For those of you who missed it, Max Fried, once you see kind of how those at-bats went in the top of the first for us, you're like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. And Max Fried gives up any runs. You're like, oh, I think this game's over in the second inning. Yep. And you always hate to say that in baseball because it's ridiculous. It's like in the NBA. You're down 10 the first quarter. You're like, no, we're still in it technically, despite what it feels like. When Fried gave up his first 2 runs, I was like, this game's over, right? And we'll obviously talk about Fried. The good news here, and Jake, I hit the prediction right on the head. I don't like to pat myself on the back. My mom disagrees. My wife disagrees. But I said Ben Rice would come back to the field on Friday against Milwaukee on the road, and he did. We saw Ben Rice. We saw Spencer Jones. We kind of disagreed about how Spencer Jones, you and I were on the same page. We wouldn't have wanted to DH him. We wanted him to get out there, catch some fly balls, get acclimated, get comfortable, as opposed to thinking about every at-bat sitting on the bench. But ultimately, Spencer Jones started today, and that's a great thing. Happy to see him out there. Obviously, congratulations to him. Saw his whole family there. I was thinking myself, I was like, if all my whole family was at the game, I don't think it would help me play any better. I think seeing my family right there would actually freak me out. But yeah, it seemed like a great day. In general, Jake, before we went live, you were talking about Jose Caballero and his short swings and how it seems like that swing is the only swing that is really productive against a power arm like that. It's the days of, Mark McGwire and Randy Johnson, and then if he makes contact, it's going to go a mile. It's not really a sustainable way to create an offense, and I think Jose Caballero displayed that beautifully today. Loved his at-bats. Loved it. 104 miles an hour. He dealt with it, no problem. But guys, if you're new here to Yankees Unloaded, be sure to subscribe and like the video. Of course, any and all super chats will be read up on the screen. Greatly appreciate it. Make sure you guys are also hyping the video. So Jake, I want to get started with Spencer Jones and his debut. You said before we went live that his swing looked long. I believe you also said that your dad had the same takeaway. I don't know if there were that many swings I saw. I believe Ryan McMahon had a ball to left field. He hit it really hard, 102 miles an hour coming in, and hit it 105 going out into an out in left field. Overall, everyone's swing looked pretty long today, but what was your takeaway on Spencer Jones at bats? Because, or as you like to say, Spencer Jones does. What did you see out there? Because he was not afraid. He was taking absolute It looked like he was trying to cut down a damn tree and hit the ball a mile. What's your takeaway now after seeing 4, or I guess 3 Spencer Jones at bats?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting, right? Like you said, it looked like he was chopping down a tree, but we've seen this, so it's not like anything we haven't seen. I thought he looked the first at bat, he looked a little out of sorts, but I thought after that, I think he reeled in pretty well. Worked a walk, which I was told that's not possible for him to do. And then in addition to that, I really like that third at bat where he really kind of forces a full count there. He swings out a little bit too early. I think he had that in the driver's seat. Like, I think he could have done damage with that pitch just a little bit too early. I'm really excited to see what he's going to look like against a pitcher that doesn't average 104 miles an hour. That's just me. I think the way I said it, that first at bat was literally, and by the way, I don't know if you saw Gary, but I literally put Spencer Jones in the thumbnail and put hard mode because Spencer Jones was like, for any of you that remember Guitar Hero, I tweeted this out. Spencer Jones today going up against Jacob Mizorowski, even though he's played baseball for a long time. This was like somebody who's never played any rhythm games, any music party games. Just picking up a guitar for Guitar Hero and playing the toughest song, which is Through the Fire and Flames by Dragon Force. Playing that song on Expert. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's fine. If you do, then you know what I'm talking about. It's not easy to do. And
Right.
so it feels impossible, really. And Spencer Jones hung in there and he took pitches and wasn't really extending the strike zone. So these are the little things that, albeit, you have 3 at bats or whatever, you don't get a huge sample size, but this is how you kind of try to look at different things. Because I could sit here and be like, Spencer Jones sucked today. He had a walk and he struck out twice. He's bad. But, like, what does that do for anybody, including Spencer Jones, if he ever hears this, right? He wouldn't, but, like, let's just be honest here. So, my biggest thing is trying to add some value here. And that's why when I go in, I'm watching that not just as a fan, I'm trying to analyze what I see. And I thought Spencer Jones showed you he can hang with the big league stuff. Mizorowski is a different animal. That's not big league, okay? That's not because big league is like baseline big league we're talking about.
Yeah,
What
you're
are you going to
talking the
see
average
more
guy I
often
would
than
run
not?
into. That's an
Yeah,
outlier at the big league level. So
yeah, he's
some people
he's
said
like,
that we shouldn't play him at all for this reason. I'm on the same page as you. You
mhm.
don't take away someone's confidence to be like, hey, I know you're in the NFL and you're about to make your NFL debut, but you're going to run into the Legion of Boom. We're going to hang on to you till next week. It just sends a message that you don't think they can handle the responsibility. And in the end, 10, 12 days from now, if Spencer Jones is hitting well, he's not going to remember. Of course, he's going to remember his debut, but he's not going to be hanging on to that. You just want to get him into the field, get him out there, right? Dip his toes in the water and just get acclimated as soon as possible. And I thought Aaron Boone did a nice job. Would have liked to see him in the field. There's no question about that. But you don't want to see someone sit down and be like, hey, your style of play wouldn't really hang in this game. It's like, well, is he a big leaguer or is he not? So, yeah, thought it was a good message to send. It's a long swing, but you know what? When I was watching Trent Grisham swing today, when I was watching Aaron Judge swing today, they all looked like they had long swings as well. Your swing looks long when the ball's going 104. That's Nolan Ryan fastball. For those of you who are keeping track. And if you'd watch Nolan Ryan, you can go on YouTube if you've never seen him play. Hitters don't look very good. They don't look themselves. And so to watch the type of at bat, I love the walk because I know that that's the thing that we said has to improve for Spencer Jones. If he's going to go anywhere with his career, the walk rate as a pure power bat it not only has to improve, it has to excel for you to be here long term. And to see what he did, obviously, Mizorowski is really, for the most part, a 2-pitch pitcher. It's going to be 104 down to 101. And you're going to get that essentially a slider or backdoor cutter. If you see that pitch that's starting away to a left-handed hitter for Spencer Jones, you should just give up on that pitch, because the one thing that Mizorowski's really had to work on, Jake, is his control. That's actually
Yeah.
always been an issue for him. And there's no reason to make assumptions that every pitch that starts off the plate is going to come back for a strike. The game plan against Mizorowski should be, and Spencer Jones actually used it, is that if the ball starts outside the strike zone, you should not be swinging. You shouldn't be considering swinging. You should be trying to jump a fastball and get ahead of that pitch. And you saw, right? You saw Jose Caballero do so early in counts. And it just so happens that Spencer Jones was fouling off those pitches. So that's clearly the difference. I liked what I saw, but I couldn't agree more. We want to see what it looks like when you run into, what does it look like when Jack Flaherty takes them out and he's throwing 94? What do those swings look like now? And that's what I'm excited to watch. I'm trying to see the macro, what Spencer Jones looks like in an average everyday major league at bat. And I have no doubt about it. He's going to be just fine.
Yeah, it's funny because you can see guys that look really comfortable, guys that don't. I think Spencer Jones looks like a pro's pro. He doesn't look like a kid that's, swimming in the deep end for the first time in his life. Like, he looks like he's been there. And I think this is where kind of the veteran of AAA kind of comes in. There's going to be growing pains. You're going to have to stick with him, but I think that he's going to show enough early on that I think people really are turning their heads. And so you look at Mizorowski, all you're looking for in that first at bat is show me some competitiveness. Show me some, like, can you hang? He fouls off 103 miles an hour. He takes a pitch that, in my opinion, was not a strike. His first ever pitch in the MLB, it's 103, it's outside the zone, they call it a strike. The next pitch is right down the plate. Didn't like it, was like, all right. So he puts himself in an 0-2 position. Really, it should have been 1-1. But then after that, he fouls that off, takes some big swings, and then, as I texted you, man, the pitch sequencing from Mizorowski in this at-bat is what I mean by hard mode. He throws 103, 102, 103, welcome the MLB. Oh, I'm going to hit you with an 89-mile-an-hour curveball. That was just ridiculous. The break, the location, and Jones, of course, gets out in front of it. So then you look at that next at-bat, and keep in mind, it's a different type of Yankees lineup today because he doesn't really get a chance to hit much at all. This is a team that, like, we're used to them hitting 5 times. Like, Aaron Judge went 1 for 5 yesterday.
Oh, yeah. It seemed like we almost barely got up there 3
Yeah.
times. By the way, did you notice the radar gun at all by chance? If you actually watch Mizorowski for the whole game, he started the game obviously 104, right? It was like consistent 104. And I'm like, who am I watching, him or Mason Miller? But then as the game started to wear on, the human element really started to take its effect. The adrenaline started to wear off. And not to make it seem like he got down to 93. Let's not get out of control. But you started seeing 101, 100, 99, 100. And 100 is different than 104. I think we can all agree on that. But then all of a sudden, Spencer Jones got back in the batter's box. First pitch, 104. It goes to show you that your welcome to the big leagues moment is you're not going to have your moment against me. And I didn't have a problem with it. That's just the human nature of baseball. It's the human nature of sports. I thought it was pretty funny. What's up?
I got a kick out of this. They show the MLB The Show angle. Did you catch this when they're Jazz is at the plate?
I didn't see it.
We're gonna show it, but then they're just showing it just to show it. They weren't gonna show us the pitch. So then they moved the camera back to the regular, and he threw it so fast they weren't ready. We missed the entire pitch. No one knows where it went. Like, I thought. I mean,
luckily no one was doing anything with any pitch anyway, so
it was hilarious. Like, Jazz is sitting there, they're showing him from, like, that cool angle, right?
Yes, of course.
Then they go back to the pitcher and the ball has already been thrown. Like, it's a strike or whatever, and it's just like
so Jazz didn't see it, we didn't see it, the broadcast didn't see it, nobody saw it. So
But I
Like
want to go back
literally
to
the broadcasters.
Spencer Jones to go through his at bats. So
Yeah.
top fifth inning. Um, I had to go back and watch this because
Yes.
I was getting on to the Harry Potter Ministry of Magic ride. So go
Yes.
figure. I'm in this long ass line watching the whole game, and then Spencer Jones comes up to the plate and I'm like, all right, time to get it. And I'm like,
At least you
fuck,
saw
you know?
Jazz go up there.
Yeah, well, exactly. So anyway, yeah, they were like no phones, so I was like, whatever. So Jones gets up there, gets to a 2-0 count, really patient to lay off the slider. I'm going to be honest, I thought both of them were strikes, but I like that he was showing patience right off the rip because at this point, Mizorowski is still on the mound. So you have a four seamer that should have been a strike about 102. You had a slider. And then after that, he comes at him with the four seamer again 101, 102, 102. He fouls off two of those pitches. So now he brings it back. It's a 2-2 count. Then he takes a curveball outside. Now it's a 3-2 count. And then that curveball just outside, and he lays off it. This
Yep.
was a incredible at bat for him because he's going against somebody that's got all the stuff in the world. And Mizorowski, he can be wild. He was not wild in this at bat. It was right there. This could have gone either way. But the fact that Spencer Jones was patient and didn't extend the strike zone, that made me feel really good about him. And then that final at bat, which is sad to say because I think he only hit another time in the seventh inning because it was just that type of day. So Spencer Jones ends up striking out on this one. He looks at a pitch right down the plate, 96 mile an hour, didn't like it, whatever. I would like to see him jump on that, but I think what Spencer Jones was really trying to force himself to do today, and I think it looked good, looked like there was some preparation involved, and it made him look like he was in command even when he wasn't. And that was, I think he was trying to work counts. I think he saw
Yeah.
opportunities. I mean, especially that at bat with Drohan. You don't mess with the Drohan as what was mentioned in the comments earlier. Love that from Brian Bashman. But he was great. He was fantastic. Got really good stuff. And I was wondering why they took Mizorowski out, and then he came in. I was like, oh, okay, I get it. But Jones, right off the rip, he's going to take that pitch. He takes the next pitch. Patient, barely outside. Like you could have argued it was a strike. Now it's 1-1. Now he's back. It's tied up. Then he swings at a ball. It's a slider, maybe out a little bit in front of it. Maybe a little bit too quick with his approach. But then a slider that's just below the zone that I was expecting him to swing at. He
Yeah.
does not. The next pitch is a four seamer that's kind of a waste pitch outside the zone. He wasn't going to chase that. If he didn't chase the other one, he wasn't going to go that far out of the zone. And then he swings and misses on a brutal slider just out in front of it a bit. But these are the things that you want to see. I mean, it's not going to look pretty. And if we're talking about, again, like Trent Grisham, Ryan McMahon, Jazz Chisholm, I don't want to see strikeouts. You've been in the league. You're an established player. I want to see better at bats. But when we're talking about the first three at bats of Spencer Jones' career, there's actually a lot to like. And it looks like there's some people that have been a little misled by all the propaganda out there about how not ready this guy is. Because you can just tell us all day that this guy isn't ready, but he's never played in the big leagues. And his first time I'm watching him, the first three at bats, Gary, he was a competitive out. Like I'm not gonna lie, and the walk to me is exactly what you want to see. So really good day for him. I think you only got three at bats. You didn't play in the field.
Yeah.
I
All
honestly
things
think,
considered, pretty solid.
yeah, yeah. I think honestly, like, if I'm being real here, if he had a chance to play in the field, I think he might have been better because I think like to have that kind of flow of the game, being a part of the game, I think it's tougher. And I think that's why there are guys like Ben Rice and Aaron Judge that the numbers don't suggest that they really enjoy DHing, right? Stanton is a different story, but I think when you're a position player at heart, it's almost like you're playing like just portions of the game, and you're not
Yeah, you're
truly
not really.
involved.
It almost feels like you're a decoy when you're a
Yeah.
DH. And I don't mean that as every DH is a decoy because obviously Yordan Alvarez is not that. But Alvarez is also a full-time DH. So I think you get acclimated to that. Giancarlo Stanton gets acclimated to that. But then also, Giancarlo, he's also said, hey, when I go out to the outfield, I actually play better. I stay healthier. It's just an easier thing. I don't have to think about my at-bats. I don't have to go down to the tunnel and get warm. I stay warm by playing catch with my teammates. I do these different things. It's part of the reason why we wanted to see Spencer Jones in the outfield. We actually thought he'd play left field or right field today, and we didn't see that. And we also did, Jake, you sent me a report that Aaron Boone, he wants to use Spencer Jones in center field and left field.
I
So
love
right field
that.
doesn't seem like it's exactly on the table. But what it does tell us is that if center field and left field are on the table, for the most part, Cody Bellinger's being given the assignment to play left field, the most difficult position to play. That leaves center field. So what it tells us is that Trent Grisham's performance over the long haul here is going to matter when it comes to who plays between he, Dominguez, and Jones. It's going to be a fun competition. Obviously, we want to see all three of those guys healthy for that
Yeah.
competition, but that's just not the way all this works. So yeah, I
Oh,
think overall, what's up?
I also want to say my thoughts are with Brandon Lockridge, former Yankee, who they traded for De Los Meatballs. Was hitting really well. Honestly, was one of the players of the game today for the
Mhm.
Brewers. He had a brutal knee injury. I don't
Yep.
know if you saw it, but oh my
I saw it
god,
post game. I actually missed it during the game. I saw it. Obviously, it was in tweet form, and so yeah, it's definitely brutal. Because I mean, we saw that, right? We
yeah.
saw that from our organization last year, and it's like
Well, it
everyone
reminded
always
me
makes the
of
assumption you're just going to see those players again, and it's not always a guarantee.
the A's game. Do you remember that prospect? He was playing his first ever game, and he like slid into the wall or whatever, and was out for the year.
You're not talking
Like
about
his
Billy McKinney, right?
no. Oh man, I can picture his face, but I can't think of the name. He was called. It was, I want to say, around, I don't know, 2018 to 2020. They ended up
I
trading
don't
him to
know.
the A's, which is kind of weird, but
I don't remember. But I
yeah,
mean,
no,
you'll eventually think of it. By the way, Jake, I wanted to say one last thing about Spencer Jones
not
because
Tyler Austin.
Spencer Jones, if you really think about what he is, he's a swing and miss power bat that plays great defense and runs the bases. Excellent, right? Having said that, there's going to be people who watch him for 12 at bats and they're like, well, this is my perspective on him. I think he has too much swing and miss in his game. And they're going to watch him say strike out in 12 at bats. He may strike out 6 times and say, see, I mean, his strikeout rate's already 50%. If that's the way that you're going to judge players with 12, 15, 18 at bats, the first 12, 15, 18 at bats of their career, then I'm assuming you did the same thing for Aaron Judge, who Aaron Judge in his rookie season, he didn't even look close to the addition that we see today. I mean, it's not even the same baseball player. And obviously, they're two different levels of players, and it's not going to be close when it's all said and done. But having said that, it just goes to show you if a player that's that great, and Aaron Judge, and it's not like he came up here at 18, he was also an older player, just like Spencer Jones, same build, same height, right? Everything. We also need to remember that patience is almost required in this situation. But Jake, I wanted to bring something to your attention because almost no one's talking about this. When Aaron Judge was brought up as a prospect, the Yankees had time to develop a prospect.
Yeah,
And that's also another element that makes it easier to develop. And I don't mean this as a negative for one side or the other. But having said that, when Aaron Judge came up to the big leagues, what were they calling him again? It was their nickname, the Baby Bombers. There's no Baby Bombers anymore.
he
It's
and Tyler
you're ready
Austin.
for the
Yeah,
big leagues due to circumstances and injury. We need you to help us right now because we're trying to win a pennant. We're trying to win a World Series. That's the goal. Our goal wasn't to win a World Series in the year that Aaron Judge showed up here and Dustin Fowler. So, guys, I
man.
just want you to remember these are tough circumstances to make your debut. You need to be a contributor early and often to maintain your job and be here for a pennant race. Very unique circumstances for a prospect that you can say Aaron Judge all you want to. You can say Jason Dominguez all you want to. there are hardly any players around the league that are dealing with these type of consequences if you don't play well. These guys are under immense pressure. So I'm trying to enjoy this. I hope he's enjoying it, but it's obviously it's not going to feel as enjoyable when you're facing Jacob Mezorowski in the middle of attempting to be a part of a solution for a pennant race. So want to give Spencer Jones credit. I thought he took pretty how would I call it? How would I say this? Mature at bats, given the circumstances. So we're going to need, I would probably say 30, 40 at bats before we decipher. Is he walking enough? Is he putting the ball in play enough? It'll be, I think in general, Jake, I like the bones of what Spencer Jones brings to the table. And Ninja with the super to get it kicked off here with the 2 says he must not face the Brewers in the World Series with that pitcher. I'm not worried about it at all.
They won't be there.
I don't care.
If they weren't there last year, they won't be there this year.
We're going to throw a parade. You know why? Because it's not the Dodgers and it's not the Braves, who both those teams I think are actually better teams than Milwaukee. Milwaukee hasn't had success in October at all. And I'm sorry. I'm not afraid to run into the Milwaukee Brewers. The only team really that should strike fear in anyone is either you're either running into the Dodgers, who are going for a three-peat, or maybe you run into San Diego and you're seeing Mason Miller in the back end of postseason games. It's difficult, right? So, but Ninja, love obviously the energy. Do not, I'm not afraid whatsoever of Milwaukee. Brian Bashman with the 10, thank you for the lemon, says, why are we DHing Jones? We're not sure. Jake, you absolutely disagreed with this when we were talking about it. We said we shouldn't do this, but we still said we'd be happy if he was playing, and that's what we got. And he says, we have 3 guys that could play the outfield. Why not DH Judge and give him a rest while Stan is on the IL? Well, Judge DH'd yesterday. So I think that was part of the reason we ended up with the conclusion we got, Jake. So we kind of talked ourselves out of him DHing again. I think that's what happened. So I don't read too much into it. I think it was a small, minute detail of the game. I don't think it's worth just over analyzing that small portion. Didn't change the game.
I'll say this, by the way. I want to be completely honest with you guys. I don't think Spencer Jones has the best matchup this series. Like, it's not just, oh, you're done with Mizorowski. It's going to get easier, but not a lot easier. I think Kyle Harrison, a lefty, is going to give Jones some challenge, right?
Is Kyle Harrison the former Red Sox, if I'm not mistaken?
I think you're right.
I think he is a former Red Sox that they gave up on. Yeah.
Yes, you're absolutely right. He was part of that deal for Caleb Durbin.
That's a bad move.
That's
a bad move on the hands of the Red Sox.
I don't understand what they were thinking with
wasn't
that.
A good move.
But Kyle Harrison is somebody that, he, first off, being a lefty, I think gives him a serious advantage here. But he's a high strikeout guy, right?
Yes, he is.
This is going to be an issue for Spencer Jones because you have the lefty on lefty stuff. Jones is hitting 183 against left-hand pitching, okay?
I don't think he should play tomorrow, just my opinion.
I could see them still doing it, though, just like, all right, let's give you a full series. It's just, because here's the thing. You've already thrown him against Mizorowski. That's probably the toughest matchup you could have had him against. But at the same time, if they don't play him tomorrow, I'm not going to, throw a fit. Because this is somebody that I think can really take advantage of the longer swing with, kind of the deception of his pitching. And again, the lefty on lefty thing. You want to look at Jones' strikeouts. Most of them came against lefties. So, yeah, I truly do think Kyle Harrison's a bad matchup. And then I would go as far as to say Logan Henderson, who would have him on Sunday. He also isn't a great matchup. He's a righty, right? He's the easiest of the 3, but he's got a great changeup that I think will, go up against his longer swing and be a problem.
I don't care about. I think everyone, for the most part, Jake, has, most guys that are going to be starting against us, there's something about them that provides problems.
Without
Spencer Jones, like today with Mizorowski, I felt like it's more fire versus fire, power versus power. and it's still technically a strength. Like a guy with high velocity, Spencer Jones isn't afraid of that. But what is a clear weakness is if you spin a lefty out the bullpen, he's going to struggle in that situation. So I think playing him tomorrow just kind of compounds the Ofer situation.
I think I would play him tomorrow. I would play
Would
him the
you?
full
Okay.
series. I think I would play him
Interesting.
every day because I want him to feel all the growing pains that come with
Sure.
playing. I
Yeah,
want
that's fair.
him I want him to be fully synergized into what we're doing. You know, we're one of the best ball clubs in baseball.
That's right.
Okay. Here's the thing with Spencer Jones and why I actually think this is beautiful the way he's done that, right? I think it's beautiful the way they've done this, and obviously I want him called up sooner. He's not the savior. How often have the Yankees had to call up a guy to save the day? He doesn't have to save the day.
Well,
We've
Anthony
actually,
Volpe, it's a good
well,
example.
think about this, right? Ben Rice is one of the best hitters in baseball. He was out and they kept winning. Giancarlo Stanton is maybe the best DH in the sport. He was out, aside from Otani, of course. He was out.
And Albers.
They kept winning, right? So, like, they can lose players. Jason Dominguez, they keep winning. Spencer Jones comes in here, and he's hitting sixth. And that's, like, to me, that showed a lot of confidence in him. But it's not enough to be like, oh, man, we're expecting the world from him. I mean, he's hitting behind
No.
Jazz Chisholm, right? So, I guess the way I see it is this. They're asking him to be himself, be a compliment, not be a hero. That could not be a better, there's not a better situation than when you take a rookie from the minors who's playing well, who's used to being the head honcho, he is the guy, every pitcher keys in on him, to now you just have to be a guy. Because that right there, pressure's off, I can be me. I think we saw a lot of that today. So I'm excited about it because I think I'm annoyed that it took this long, but now that it's here, I think this is the best situation. This is how you set up for the future. Like, Judge is 34 now. This could very well be your replacement for Aaron Judge, the big, power guy down the road. I want this guy to be synergized into what we're building here. And I want him to feel everything because I think this is how he's going to grow. So I
So
personally
funny.
think it's a
I
great
like
fit.
hate the word future. It's honestly it's just a me thing because
Yeah, I
obviously
mean,
in
that's fair.
baseball, when you're a win now organization, I just hate promises of the future. But it's more so about who's going to be stepping in when Aaron Judge is no longer serviceable. It's not going to be forever.
And
You
I
have a
agree with
34-year-old
this
player.
wholeheartedly. Because this
So
is
Big
what it's
Boss
all
Baby is saying
about.
Jones has to play every day. He's on borrowed time. He's going down when Stan comes back. Anyways, this is absolutely true. The Yankees, the only reason that you would not play him or play him, it's more so about how impactful do you think it is if you play him in an inopportunistic situation, right? That's not a good matchup for him personally. And you say you extend the 0 for 3 into a, I don't know, an 0 for 7, right? And all of a sudden people are like, oh, he's off to a slow start. And you're trying to manage the mental side of the game as opposed to just the physical side in matchups. And so, not here to say that we have to bubble wrap the kid, but there's also ways that you can put people in positions to succeed and build on confidence. For me personally, what my plan always was, I feel like Mizorowski, you have to put confidence in him, play him, you go play him. Then you have a bad matchup the next day. I probably don't play him. But if I see a righty and he has a big day in the final game of the series, and I see a lefty the following series, I just build on the momentum and let him play again. And just allow that for young players, as opposed to, hey, I know you just sucked. Let me put you back on the field. And holy molar with the 5. I love this. I got to read this to you, Jake. I can't wait. Thank you for the 5. Says, when is Jihad Jake? I'm pretty sure he's calling you a jihadist. I'm going to be back in his studio. I'm starting to get freaked out by the haunted twin bed. Pirates of the Caribbean unloaded. Jake's got a flight tomorrow.
What was that last part? Pirates of the Caribbean unloaded. Like, what was that? I'm not hiring you to be a
I liked
voiceover for anything. No,
Who,
I'm
me?
kidding. No, I'm messing with you. No, so this is the last episode that I will be doing in this establishment. Um, we are finishing up our vacation. Well, it's already finished. This is the last night, and then I have a flight at like 6 a.m. So that's why I'm here at 12:13 a.m. talking to you guys. So we'll be back in the studio. Still late show tomorrow night, but we'll get back in the swing of things, and it'll be great. You'll get to see all my. I mean, are people really missing my backdrop that much? They're missing the Rams jersey, the Yankees jersey, the Funko Pops, the Pokemon boxes. I mean, like, I guess
Well, no,
so.
I think
So,
also when you talk, the whole screen is just bouncing around.
well, it's
it,
my laptop on a
it
bed.
it's your
So,
laptop, right? So
because
there's
well,
certain
here's
things.
here's why I did the twin
We're
bed, right?
spoiled, is what we are.
Here's why I did the twin bed, because I've tried so many times to find a setup when
Mhm.
I'm like at a resort or a hotel, because I work every time that I go on vacation. Um, I found the bed is the best because I have two beds. So I have one that I could sleep in. Keep in mind, I've slept on a broken table and a broken futon. I'm good. Um, but I have one that I could sleep in. And then right here, I can just keep everything the way it is. So it's not a pain in the ass to like set up. The biggest issue I find is that a lot of these places don't have the tables that you would want to set up your stuff. So I was just like, this is the easiest way to get a consistent, view,
I see.
so to
You should
speak.
have just done the Michael K setup where he sets up in the hotel rooms. It's so funny.
I
Whenever
mean,
he
that's
does
basically what
shows,
I'm doing. It's just I'm not showing the bed.
it is so funny to me. Like when we were watching Michael K, he was arguing with somebody like last week. He was in the hotel room. I was like, you shouldn't even be able to argue with
I
anybody
know.
from a hotel room in a Skype call. But
It's the funniest thing
obviously,
ever.
we love Michael K on the show, but it was just
Absolutely.
hilarious.
Oh, yeah. No, and by the way, I see Jersey Girl in our supers, so we'll get to her. But wanted to give a shout out and congratulations to Knicks fans. You're one win away from going back to the Eastern Conference Finals. Since I know we have a lot of Knicks fans in here, so big ups to you guys
Yeah,
for
guys,
sure.
congrats. Anything but the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I don't say this from a standpoint of from the typical standpoint. Here's what I mean by that. You know how
Mm-hmm.
when you watch the NFL and people are like, I just want the Chiefs to lose. And I'm like, well, okay. Like, what's the reason?
Yeah.
They'll tell you, oh, the Taylor Swift, I'm sick of it. Hate the the whole relationship thing that are shoving down my throat, or they shove the
Yeah.
Chiefs down my throat, or they say, oh, they just win too much. I need to see something else. The Thunder's the winning doesn't bother me. I love dynasties. I love teams winning back to back 3 times in
Mm-hmm.
a row. The three-peats, right? Saw it in the 90s. Saw the Heat go back to back in the early 2010s. Jake, there is nothing. There's nothing less entertaining than watching the Oklahoma City Thunder play basketball, flopping around like a bunch of fish for nothing. If you actually go to an
Hey,
NBA
I'm a
game,
Lakers
the
fan. I'm
game is
with you on that.
the game is way more physical than you expect when you go to an NBA game. And if you really do the math, NBA athletes are some of the best athletes you'll ever see. These dudes are like 6'11", jumping around like out the gym. There's a lot more contact than you think. This Lakers and Thunder series is diabolical to watch. It's not fun. And so I'm not a Knicks fan personally. I'm a local Phoenix Suns fan. I've been a Suns fan for a long time. And I'm rooting for anybody to beat this horrendous style of basketball. And if that means the Knicks got to win the NBA Finals and not my Phoenix Suns, so be it. Go Knicks. Knicks tape.
And by the way, I have a hard time because the Thunder right now are playing my Lakers, whatever. But I guess real quick, what I'll say is this: this is why everyone who's just like, oh yeah, we'll just trade draft picks, we'll just. This is why doing that actually has consequences. The Thunder are almost entirely built from bad decisions, from bad GM. It's why I say to this day, I don't care what anyone says, I could run an NBA roster and I could actually win an NBA Finals with that roster. I could build an NBA championship. I believe you could. I believe Gary could.
I don't
just
believe
point
I
to
could.
you. I 100%. These are some of the biggest nimrods in the entire industry of sports.
Well, you thought it was a bad idea to trade for Paul George and give him Shea
Clippers
Gilgeous-Alexander and
traded
4 first-round picks?
4 first-round picks and one of the best players in the sport. Obviously, he wasn't that yet, but he had the potential to at least be something. And they trade him for Paul George, who was a diet LeBron James, and that's even putting it like nicely.
Saying Paul George being a diet LeBron James, he is not even. I can't even. There's no. He's not even a single iteration.
He's the skim,
just wipe it from your
the skim milk version of LeBron James,
brother. He's not LeBron James bathwater. He sucks in comparison to LeBron James.
No,
he's not a good basketball player.
You know what he is of LeBron James? He's the Beyond Meat of LeBron James.
Yeah, exactly. He's turkey bacon.
Bill
LeBron
Gates'
James.
meat. That's what Oh man, what is this show? I don't know, but the point being, and I guess we can relate this to baseball as well. You had a team that just sat patiently while every team was like, we need stars, 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 stars. And they traded all of their draft picks.
Yep.
Mind you, there is a chance that the Oklahoma City Thunder could win the NBA Finals and end up with the number 1 overall pick and take Darren Peterson or AJ DeBonsa in this draft. That's an actual realistic possibility.
Yeah, I think it's like 3% chance. It's ridiculous.
Nimrods that are in charge. Yep. Why am I going to relate this back to baseball? Because you have your Cam Schlitlers, you have your Spencer Joneses, you have your you have your Jason Dominguez, right? You have your Ben Rice. These are all guys that teams are trying to get on a discount because of a high priority period at the deadline.
Which makes a lot of sense. You just have to be careful.
You have to. This is not a story of don't ever do stuff, but this is a story of you have to be careful. Getting Paul George actually destroyed the Clippers. Like, I don't know if they'll ever recover from giving up. See, and that's the thing. These draft picks, these prospects, it allows you to have cost-effective players, cost-effective assets, right? So you can go and do other things.
Yeah, if George Lombard Jr. works out for the Yankees, we now know if Lombard Jr. works out, we've got Ben Rice at first base. If Jazz ends up moving on, we've got Caballero over at second base. Your shortstop's already settled, right? You probably figured that the Yankees would need a third baseman. Our budget's $300 million. $22 million comes off the books for Grisham the following year. We've got plenty of outfielders. You've got Dominguez, you've got Jones, you've got Bellinger, Judge. If you can find ways to get young players on the field, it's not just for you to pat yourself on the back and be like, go kids, this is awesome. We develop those guys. That's fun to some degree, but also the reward for it is you have something that's cost effective for, it's not 7 years. They make it seem like you got them for a decade. You don't. Yes, you have 7 years of control, but 3 of those years are arbitration years, and they're highly paid arbitration if they're a good player. You really have that player for cheap for about 2 to 3 seasons, and that's still good. So having said that, if Lombard Jr. and Ben Rice are giving us that type of output, if we go into this following offseason after we expect there to be a lockout, the Yankees can be more aggressive than what we're used to them being, right? Maybe a Tarek Skubal would be considered a luxury pickup for the Yankees. Well, if young players are working out in position player-wise, we can splurge on another arm and just throw it in the rotation. And some people would say, we don't need that. It's like, well, who cares what you need? The Dodgers didn't need Kyle Tucker, but they went out and got him anyways. The Yankees, by nature of developing players, could maybe not get to where the Dodgers are, but at least it could look a little bit more comparable because we're able to develop and spend at the same time. So I think that would be great. And by the way, I see something in the live chat I wanted to put up on screen really quick because we have a blister alert. This is not a report, but I did see this. So Apex, he tagged me. I love how he put at Gary like I would see it because it says at Gary. But but Apex, thank you for being in here. Says, did you notice that Fried biting his thumb? Is that a blister? I don't want to make excuses for what I saw. It was just a poor performance. I know Girardi said that he had better stuff than what the game showed. I would agree with that, right? There was a lot of weak contact.
Agree.
The defense
did him no favors.
To be desired, right? There were some plays from Jazz that probably should have been made. There were some miscommunications in the infield. There was a ball back to the pitcher that Fried intentionally let go by, assuming that a fielder would be there, but Jose Caballero was shaded actually in the hole and couldn't get to that ball. So there was a lot of things that maybe you can say just didn't bounce the Yankees' way, but I can't say anything for sure about Fried in his thumb, but I did see him biting that thumb. So it leads me to believe maybe that he doesn't have a blister, but maybe something is going on. Jake, did you notice this at all, or is this something that's news to you?
Didn't notice this. I think it's a little bit of, and I mean, obviously, give you guys credit for trying to put on your thinking caps and your magnifying glasses, but I think this is a little bit of the over, analyzing.
This is why it's hard to play for the Yankees. We've got people sitting here at midnight Eastern time who were like, did you see he was biting his fingers? There's not an Arizona Diamondbacks fan, this is no knock on D-backs fan, that would ever notice that a pitcher was biting his nails during the game. They would never care or notice. It's probably nothing.
I did this on one of our shows, and someone was like, Jake is biting his fingers. It's a whole big thing.
I actually did see that. I think someone was upset.
Yeah, they were bad. They're
no.
like,
It wasn't biting your fingers. They said he's picking his teeth. That's what they said. Oh.
Yeah. No, that's gross. That's so gross. Can you imagine if I was just flossing my teeth with my fingers?
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm telling you. Especially when you're in front of a certain amount of people.
Oh, where's the guy who's going to flip out about me wearing a tank top?
I mean, there's somewhere. Jake's got a flight not too long from now, so he gets
I was out all day in 90-degree weather.
And you get to dress like you're on a city bus on an airplane. That's how it works out anyway.
And it's going to be cold as shit when I get back, so.
Cold?
It's cold in New York. You know that, right?
No, I had no idea. It's 95 degrees where I am.
Yeah, no, it's right now it's 76 in Orlando. And back home it's 41. So tomorrow it's going to be 55.
This is why the event's in September, ladies and gentlemen.
95% chance of heavy rain. Wow, I'm so glad I'm going back there. Didn't rain once, by the way. When was that?
At least the taxes are low where you're going.
Anyway, 38 degrees, 55 high.
Beautiful.
It won't hit 70 until next Saturday. So, yeah.
Beautiful weather. Brian Bashman with the 5. I actually like some of the super chats that are coming out because Liam, who's actually a Red Sox fan, actually more thought-provoking than most opposing fans are in a channel essentially that's not for their fans. So obviously always appreciate when he stops by. So Brian Bashman with the 5 says, good news. We're on Fox tomorrow. And he's obviously being sarcastic. I can already tell.
Very sarcastic.
He says, so we get to listen to Jake's favorite broadcaster, John Smoltz. Crap on our team all night. Yay.
I can't wait
John
for
Smoltz
him to
is
say
easily
Spencer
is he your least favorite?
It's just terrible.
He's going to talk about his long swing the whole game.
Yeah, I was debating even bringing it up. And the long swing, the long swing is definitely necessary for analyzing it. Mm-hmm. And maybe I'm overdoing it. I'm just trying to be fair here to both Spencer Jones, but also I don't want to be called and honestly I don't care, right? I do my own thing, but I'm not trying to be overly fanboy, right? Because I really think the Yankees have a gem. I felt that way before the draft. I was like, if they get this guy, this was the 1 year, it was just like Aaron Judge. I say it like it was yesterday. My friend Joe, who's been on this show before, not on it, but in it, giving us super chats and whatnot.
I was gonna say if he's been on the show, I got bumped in the head. Where was he?
Joe Tronco, yeah. He so he's
Yeah.
left, supers before.
Yes.
We were on FaceTime. It was like the first year I actually gave a rip about the draft. We both wanted Aaron Judge. Like
Hmm.
we wanted him so bad. He would tell you to this day on FaceTime. This is the thing. I was younger. I didn't have a platform, so my take isn't out there. The only crazy take that I have that is out there is when I went on ESPN radio and said that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in that draft when no one was talking about him. That's like the only take that somehow is out there because I was on ESPN radio. But Aaron Judge, I saw him as a young Giancarlo Stanton. So did Joe Tronco. And we watched this draft. We waited. We were pissed when the Yankees drafted Eric Jagiello with the first pick. Then they had a second pick. See, this will never happen again. They had a second pick in the first round, and they take Ian Clarkin, the pitcher, and then the third pick, they took Aaron Judge. And by the way, I understand how crazy it is. The Yankees had 3 first round picks. That will never happen again. Rob Manfred is absolutely against it. Competitive balance, all of that. I want to hit you with something else.
What's up?
The Yankees got that pick from the Nick Swisher signing. So they got a compensatory pick that became Aaron Judge in the first round. Do you remember?
I knew I liked Nick Swisher.
Yeah. Do you remember, by the way, why the Yankees offered Trent Grisham a qualifying offer?
To get a pick.
Do you remember what pick?
Wasn't it a third round?
It's a 4th round pick. So I don't know why they've totally changed everything.
Wait a minute. We did all that for a 4th round pick?
I'm here to tell you that in 2020, he's gone. I'm here to tell you that in the modern era, oh, he's actually gone. Damn. I'm here to tell you in the modern era, Aaron Judge could have never been a Yankee. You realize that?
With the technical situation that they would have forced into our lap, we wouldn't be allowed to do it because they think it's just
Wouldn't
so
be possible.
unfair. Right. Because essentially what they're doing is they're
competitive balance moves, by the way. What is it doing? These small market teams still aren't spending. They're not using, which, by the way, the entire point of the void years, or rather the deferred contracts, were for the Pirates of the world. But what's his name? Bob Nutting, the owner, doesn't give a rat's ass about the sport.
No, he's a dunce. And we also, you didn't, even when you were letting us make those picks, it's not like we won the World Series anyway. We haven't won it once. You didn't need to stop anything. You still have to make the picks. You still have to develop the players, right? You still have to bring them up and continue the development. You also have to figure out where they're going to play in the window. Everything has to like really work out perfectly. They didn't have to do all that. They're just doing a bunch of extra hogwash to make it seem like they care about the Baltimore Orioles just as much as they care about the New York Yankees, because they're trying to emulate what we see in the NFL. But what they don't understand is it takes way too long, and it takes way too long to fix a baseball program as opposed to the NFL. The NFL, you can have one football player join an organization and change the trajectory of a team overnight, right? Cincinnati Bengals are almost in purgatory. You bring over one quarterback and you sign one receiver and you skip out on the offensive line and they're back to the Super Bowl in the next couple of years, and nobody saw that coming. That's something the NFL can offer. We cannot do. Baseball is just doing too much when it comes to all those picks. So the fact that we have a player on the field right now because of a 4th round pick is just obviously a joke. And this is the Super Jake that I was very excited about. Liam Wallace, thank you for the 5. He says your favorite Red Sox fan is here. He's absolutely right. He is. And he says, what do you make of the Yankees struggling against teams over 500 so far this year while dominating everyone else? So I want to stay consistent here. You can't avoid this fact. The Yankees I'm going to say this, the Yankees play below 500 teams better than any other team in Major League Baseball. That's a statistical fact, and it means something. It shows that they're a good team with good depth, and there's a lot of good for us to go forward with as far as predicting them to win the actual division. That's first and foremost. But if they're going to have the ceiling that Jake, you said, oh, they're going to the World Series, right? I said they can go to the World Series. I'm changing tune in a positive way.
Wait, if Grisham and McMahon
Yes. Which were
yes.
really not, that's not really out of hand to suggest that two players give you, they actually give you output.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a whole lot to happen for you to suggest that the Yankees would win the World Series. So all in all, you're very positive about the team.
Yeah.
Having said that, Liam brings up the point. The Yankees are not beating teams over 500. That is the statistical fact. We went and played Tampa. They beat our ass. We're playing Milwaukee in this series. We showed up in game 1. They kicked our ass. But I believe you're talking about a 4, 5, 6, 7 game sample size that, of course, is small. But considering what we saw last year and what we saw the year before that, it is an indication that we still have to prove ourselves against better teams and better competition. It's just an unchecked box right now. It doesn't mean the Yankees suck and this is all fool's gold. But what it means is that the Yankees do have something to prove. And I think that's a good thing. We don't want to feel like we've proven ourselves in May. We need to get through this season and say we still have something to check off during the regular season. So I'm not here to argue against what Liam's saying. I'm actually going to agree with you. The Yankees, to consider yourselves a great team, we have to beat Tampa. We've got to go beat Toronto. We've got to go beat some of these teams, the Padres and the Dodgers. We've got to cement ourselves as real contenders.
Yeah, I have no issue with that. I mean, I don't think we know who is what. I mean, I feel really good about the Yankees, but I think we know the Yankees are a really good team. I think we know that, but the question is how good, right? And
right.
I don't want to get them in trouble for the fact that they just haven't played a lot of, plus 500 teams.
Right.
I mean, that Giants game, that Giants series looked like that was going to be a really good team. Seattle's had the Yankees number at times, and they looked good in that
Giants
series.
Are horrible. They're not good at all.
But that's the thing is, did we know that? No, we viewed that as that's a big series. The A's, they lost the series. I mean, they lost the 5 straight. 3 of those were against Tampa, 2 against the A's. They've really won most of their games since. I mean, I think they're going to probably at least win one of these games in the Milwaukee series, but I could see them winning 2 out of 3. And then after that, you have Baltimore, New York, Toronto. Then you got Tampa. I think the Tampa series is going to be a big one. It will say a lot for both teams. I think the A's series going to wherever they play, I don't even freaking know at this point. Sacramento,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're just called the Athletics. So
they hit the ball into right field. It just goes into a bush. And no one goes. They don't even go get it.
They play on that little league field that doesn't have fences, and it's just
it's
you just
joke.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding, but anyway, yeah, the A's. I mean, they beat the Yankees 2 out of 3, so they go to Sacramento or whatever you want to call it, East Jesus nowhere.
I think Liam's point also, it's not so much about the sample size this year. It's also almost a loaded statement that goes into the past, which is respectable.
Yeah, I don't like doing that though.
I don't love it, but at the same time, it is true. It's not like the Yankees have beaten the brakes off of teams over 500, like say 2 years ago, that we didn't do it last year and then now it's a new year. The Yankees, for the most part, have really beat up on bad teams, and then they tend to struggle against the best teams. So it doesn't bother me. Just doesn't.
I would push back a little bit because I don't think baseball quite has that merit. I just covering the NFL, right? If you have you play a bad schedule, you're playing a bunch of 5-12, 7-10 you know what I mean? At the end of the season, you have a 442 strength of schedule. Your strength of victory is not over 500. I think that holds more merit because I think the NFL, while there's a lot of competition, I think the teams that are bad are atrociously bad. And we see this all the time. We see teams that win 2 games out of 17, right? When I see right now across the major leagues, this is not Major League Baseball, like where you have teams that are atrociously bad. The worst team right now is the San Francisco Giants, who have 14 wins. We don't have an atrociously bad team that's like the Yankees are just piling up wins against a
No,
six
it's
win
not
team.
like the
So,
days of Gleyber Torres hitting 37 homers, 19 of them coming against the Baltimore Orioles, which literally was a little league team. They weren't
but this
even
is where
trying to win games. That was a joke.
I just don't like who's good, right? Like we can hold this against the Yankees and that's fine if you want to do that. But like listen to this. These are the teams that are above 500, right?
Hmm.
The Cubs, the Braves, the
Hmm.
Yankees, the Rays, the Dodgers, the Cardinals, the Padres, the Brewers, the Pirates, the A's, the Guardians, the Reds. That's it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 teams. We're
We've
talking about
identified
18 teams that are below
it's
sea
a lot of
level right now.
teams. Yeah, it's not good.
So that's the thing is like I push back on that because it's like, what are the odds that the Yankees are going to play one of the 12 teams, one of the 11 teams, since they're one of the 12? It's very low. It's actually very low that
It
they're
takes us the
going to
whole
play a good
season.
team.
I think the reason that these questions are being brought to the surface is because we didn't play Tampa well. Tampa's playing well. And so now that we didn't play them well in Tampa and St. Petersburg,
That's exactly it. Because if
people
they played Tampa
identified
fine, no one would care.
no, God, no. This wouldn't be a question because the sample size is 4 games. To be exact, it's 4 games. We played 3 games
And
against
this
Tampa, got our
right
ass kicked.
here
One
is
game.
exactly where I'm at because like Boston was supposed to be better and they still could be, right? Seattle's supposed to be better. No one thought Cal Raleigh was going to hit below 200, or maybe I
No,
did.
yeah, you did.
Houston,
I didn't.
yeah, Houston was supposed to be better. What is Houston? We talked about them. They score a lot of runs. They give up every run. So
And now
you
they're
know,
battered. So they're a bad team now. So
yeah.
the things just change, right? We go into the season in 2024, we sweep Houston, we sweep Milwaukee the following year. They said Milwaukee sucked. Milwaukee won 100 games. So
I mean, the
just a
Cardinals
situation where the
barely
Cardinals?
have. The Cardinals have 6 more runs than runs allowed. They've
Wow.
been teetering on that plus minus all year. They have 23 wins and only 15 losses. Like we don't know who the Cardinals are. We don't know who most of these teams are. But you know what? I'm gonna throw some stuff out here for you. I think keep an eye on obviously the Toronto Blue Jays. I think the
Hmm.
Toronto Blue Jays are going to be in that top 12 or what have you.
Of course they will.
I do. Seattle's not in there right now. They will be.
Yep, of course.
I would also venture to guess the Phillies, and I would probably go with the Diamondbacks as well. So, you know, maybe you could argue the Nationals. They've been playing some good baseball as of late, but Gary, I mean, like the Reds. The Reds were just 20 and 11. They've lost 8 straight. Like things are going to start to mold into what they're supposed to
Yes.
be. And I just don't think it's fair based on the sample size, based on what the league looks like right now, for us to say that the Yankees are just beating up on bad teams because the numbers suggest if it's 18 out of 30 teams, that's more than 50% of the teams are bad baseball teams.
Yeah, it's kind of hindsight. It's really just a hindsight way of identifying what the Yankees are doing because I don't really see many people saying that the Chicago Cubs have a great record and then talking about who they've beaten. And some people be like, "Oh, it's because they've beaten good teams." They don't even know that. They're not watching those teams.
Yeah, I
What
mean the
really
Cubs are
matters
only
is
9-7 on the road.
when we get into the end of the season, I promise you by that point, because guys, we're not one to defend the Yankees when things aren't going well. We're gonna tell you like it is. Last season, we told you, hey, you know how we're at the middle of the year and we're at the trade deadline? We never beat Toronto. That's a
And this too,
problem.
by the way.
Yeah, I mean, we're the ones playing those teams. So some of those teams are going to be below 500 because someone's got to lose. And if we were the ones losing those games, you know what they'd say? Well, the Yankees aren't as good as I guess Brian Cashman should be fired. The team's ass. They're not good at all. The run it back Yankees aren't good. But then whoever loses, they can't just become bad. Like that, I think that's a little, it just seems a little fickle to me.
So yeah, so I could probably tell you exactly off the top of my head. We got 3 losses to the Rays in
That's
a
correct.
4-game set. We got 2 losses to the A's, so that puts us at 5. Just lost to the Brewers, who are above 500, so that's 6. And then after that,
It's not any of the Orioles games.
Did they play the Guardians?
I don't think so. No.
That feels off. Why would
Where
they
was
be...
Baltimore when we started that series? Because I know we beat them in a 4-game set. Was any of those games when they were a game over 500?
No. Baltimore was never over 500.
I figured not. They're 4 games under now.
No, the Marlins. The Marlins.
Okay.
They're not anymore, but if that stat is taking that into account,
Right.
then it's the Marlins. But if it's not, and what I really care about is right now, they've lost 6 games. Like, big deal. That's just too much. That's way too small of a sample size. And again, this is what happens when 18 of the 30 teams are below 500. It's
Can I ask you a question, though, Jake?
Not a great
It's actually a
crop.
real question, not a rhetorical.
Yeah.
Last season, the Los Angeles Dodgers were swept in a 3-game set by one of the worst baseball teams I've ever seen in the Colorado Rockies.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this. Should there have been a conclusion taken away from the series, do you think? Because
No.
your answer is no, right?
Yep.
Majority of people in our comment section would also say no. They'd be like, no, they're already a proven team. Why would there be a takeaway? The point is, and it kind of circles back to your conclusion earlier, this is a season-to-season thing. And what really matters is the habits you build, not who'd you lose to, who'd you beat. You sort of know, even if the Jays had our number last year, didn't you know in your heart of hearts, even if it didn't go the way it did in the season series, that the Jays just played a better style of baseball and were going to beat us? Didn't you know that? Did you really need to see that the season series would be like, oh, if the Yankees were just a little better against teams over 500, it would have changed the outcome? It was still the same players, guys. So here's the whole thing. We want to win this division, but we also want to see the writing on the wall that there's something different about the offense that we can trust going in October. I don't care about these arbitrary numbers against teams over 500. We're going to lose games that we frankly shouldn't lose over a scale of 162. Like, guys, we're going to go play. I promise you, we're going to go play a team. Like, I think we all agree. We're like, oh, Tampa should come back down to earth. There's going to be a series later this year where Tampa is fighting at 500 or below 500. And people are going to say, oh, remember when Tampa was like a contender? And we're going to go drop 3 of 4 at the stadium in August. And people are going to go, oh my God, Tampa's just got our number. And then when the postseason starts, no one's thinking about Tampa anymore. It doesn't matter. Just go out there and on a day-to-day basis, show us quality habits, and then we'll judge you from there. So I get it. What Scott is bringing up, and Scott brought us just a stat. But if you go against 500 team, above 500 teams, and you play dismal baseball, but you beat up on all the bad teams, then yes, it's probably going to end up catching up with you at the end of the season. But guys, we've played 10 baseball games against those teams, and we just identified them today. So let's give this some breathing room. In 3 months, 4 months, we'll revisit this. And if the same conclusion's there, we'll cover it.
No, I love that, and I agree. And I think, the big thing here is that this always gets... And this is actually the issue with strength of schedule, is like, you actually get penalized for whipping teams' asses.
Sure do.
And my thing is, you know what I care the most about right now? Run differential.
What's that? Run prevention?
Because if you look at run differential, think about this.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Who are the 5 best teams in baseball? Well, run differential would tell you the Braves, the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Cubs, and the Brewers, believe it or not. The Brewers are only 4 games over 500. if you look at the Brewers, they're 11-8 at home. They're 9-8 on the road, but they've won 7 of the last 10 games. This is a team that's getting hot. This is a team that the underlying stats would have you believe they're not that good, but the run differential, in a way, is almost getting you prepared for the jump they're about to make. And we're
What's
actually
Milwaukee's
seeing
record coming into today's game?
it was 20-15.
20-15. See, that's not great. Now it's above
No.
500, so it kind of gets onto the scale that people are talking about. But you
Yeah.
wouldn't go into this series and be like, "Oh yeah, Milwaukee's one of the best teams in the league." No one's saying that right now. They're just not.
But that
So,
said, Gary, think about this, right? And I'm sure you already are.
hmm,
But Milwaukee being in the division they're in,
yes,
and this is where it becomes interesting. Like the 20-15, it holds a completely different tune when you're in the same division as the Cubs, who are 27-12, the
yes.
Cardinals, who are 23-15, the freaking Pirates are. Every team in that division, including the Reds, are over
I was gonna
500. The
say, isn't
Reds,
Cincy like 3 games over and they're in fifth?
yeah, I mean, since he's lost 8 in a row, they're falling off a cliff. But the point stands, as
Yeah,
of today,
right.
every team in the NL Central is over 500. So it's like, and I'm gonna come back to this for the AL East, but the point I'm making here is that it's like, are the Brewers that bad? I don't think so. I think the Brewers are a team based on their run differential. They're going to shoot past the Cardinals, who have a +6. Brewers have a +52 and are fifth in the league. They're going to stay ahead of the Pirates, who are +22. And they're going to be right on the heels of the Cubs, who are
Yep.
+56. The thing about the Cubs is the fact that they've played, 16 games on the road, and they've played 23 games at home. They're 18-5 in those games. On the road, they're 9-7. When they have to play more road games, we're going to find out what the Cubs are really made of. And on the AL East side of things, the Yankees only have two teams in their division right now who are above 500: Tampa Bay and themselves. Everyone else is below it. Toronto, though, which is very interesting, is 17-21 despite all the injuries, right? Run differential would have you believe they're not that good, the -20. But when you factor in all the injuries, you factor in they've won 5 of their last 10, not 2 of their last 10. They might be finding their stride soon. You look at the Boston Red Sox, this team can't win at home. They have a -9 run differential.
No
The
idea how that
Orioles,
happens.
the Orioles, I will tell you straight up, they are not coming out of this. They are not turning this around. They have a -38 run differential. They've won 3 of their last 10. They still have to play the Yankees a lot more. They still have to play Tampa. It's not good for them. But this is what I'm going to say about the AL East. The Yankees should not be penalized for being in a division that was expected to be one of the strongest in baseball, and they're just off to slower starts. They shouldn't be penalized for being in a division where Tampa kind of rose from the ashes. They came out of nowhere, right? And they're a really good team, but the reigning AL champions, are struggling out of the gate. They shouldn't be penalized for that. And based
Yeah.
on this metric of playing teams below 500, guess what? You would actually be penalized for playing the Toronto Blue Jays, which is absolutely insane to me.
Yep.
Another thing I want to point out, though, right? This is the last thing I'll hit on.
Hmm.
The Yankees have a +75 run differential. That's as good as anybody. Like, it's right up there with the tippy top. Tampa has a +17.
Right.
I'm expecting the Yankees to blow by everybody. And I don't think they're going to give up any ground. And the reason I think this is because Tampa, they obviously can really do some things. We've talked about this. We talked off air today about Freddie Peralta. They could give the Mets a call trade for Freddie Peralta and help out that
Yeah,
rotation.
they can also look at Uvalde, right? There's some situations they're definitely gonna have to wait a couple months for teams to really make their bed.
But
But
plus 17,
no,
that's
I,
not
I hear what
great.
you're saying. I hear what you're saying about the plus 17, but this is also to go to just give some friction to it because I think it's
Hmm.
valuable here. Toronto's plus minus last year wasn't that great. And that was part of what Michael Kay alluded to. He said, "Hey guys, the Yankees are playing, they're in catch up mode right now. And if everything went the way it technically should have, according to plus minus, the Jays record, in theory, according to the stats, the guess is that they'd be about here and the Yankees would be about here. But the Jays are kind of winning games that the statistics say that they really shouldn't be winning. But it really all comes down to the conclusion that was in our live chat. You play who's in front of you, and it doesn't matter if you won 2-1 or if you won 12-2. And if you were paying attention to Yankees baseball for the past week, Jake, you and I covered it every single day. Most of our viewership shows up every single day. They know we won back-to-back games 14-2 and 13-1. Now, when you look at that, you'd say, "Oh, the Yankees are that much better than these other teams who had to win 3-2." But how much better? How is it arbitrary? Did it matter that they won 13-2 and they had to win 2-1? I'm not sure. So I like those tools. The plus minus does tell somewhat of a story, how many runs you give up, how many runs you score. But also it's a little skewed. Power hitting teams, they tend to throw up crooked numbers in games that get out of hand, whereas more contact oriented teams like the Jays last year and Tampa this year, they're bunting and slashing singles with Chandler Simpson. They're not trying to do what we're doing. Spencer Jones, right? Austin Wells, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton. We're all trying to hit the ball upper deck, right? Which is not to say it's a bad approach, but kind of the point here is that now you see this right here. I didn't even see this. So, Jake, I'm glad you put it up on the screen. In 2025, the Yankees were a plus 164. The Toronto Blue Jays were a plus 77. They kicked our taints in 2025 in the head to head. And then with the 94 win season and 94 win season, we now lose the division. So don't want anyone to look at plus minus and say, well, because of this, it will be this. But I like where your head's at because it is still in the macro, looking across the whole league, it's still an indication of something that may be happening down the road.
Yeah, I would say plus minus is a great indicator. And keep in mind, these are tools. I'm not saying plus minus, you should not play the games at this point. You know what I mean? But
Yes.
I think plus minus is a really good indicator on what you could expect
Yes,
as far
more
as
times than not,
postseason
right?
play.
With reasonable
Because,
doubt, there's going to be something happening.
well, let's look at this, right? 2025,
Mm-hmm.
the Dodgers were fourth. I would say it's fair to say if you were in the top five, I would assume you're probably going to win the World Series.
Where were the Jays in total rank and plus minus?
So the Jays were six, seven, eight, ninth. Yeah, they were ninth. They
Interesting.
actually finished with a plus 77, which is funny because the Yankees are right up there right now. 2024, the Dodgers were one. So again, top five champion.
Yes,
2023, that was the Rangers, I believe, right? They won the World Series.
they did. Yes, against Arizona.
They were fourth. Despite the fact they
Right.
only won 90 games, Gary, they were
Yeah.
fourth. They were
Yeah.
actually ahead of the 101 win Orioles. So then you look at 2022. Who won in 2022?
In 2022,
It's the Astros, right? Or the Braves?
Braves won in 21.
Okay. So,
Essentially, what we're getting at here is that plus minus, if you looked at 10 individual seasons, you just stack them up.
the Astros.
Houston.
So,
If you
they
look
were
at
third.
10 seasons, more times than not, a team in the top five plus minus is going to be there at the end.
2021, you said the Braves.
The Braves, yeah.
Outlier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. 2020 was the Dodgers. They were first. 2019 was the Astros. They were first. 2018 was the Astros as well. Right? No, it was the Red Sox. My bad. So the Red Sox were second. And then 2017, that was
Yeah,
the
19 was
Astros,
the
right?
Nationals. What year
Oh,
are you in now?
my bad. 19 was the
Yeah, 19 was
Nationals.
Washington, 20 was LA.
So they were fifth.
Mhm. Plus minus,
Um,
you don't show up to the field and they go, hey, what's your plus minus? Congratulations, you're World Series champions. But
but it's a
it
pretty
is
good
an
indicator,
indication.
though.
It's somewhat of an
Yeah.
indication. You don't show up and say, well, our plus minus was excellent and it was much better than yours, so you can go ahead and go home. Nobody cares about your plus minus when you get to the
So
postseason.
so
But we'll see.
2017 was the Astros, and they were third. 2016 was that the Cubs? It was the Cubs. The Cubs were first. By a country freaking mile. They won 103 games. They had a 252 differential. 2015 was the Royals, and I'll just do the 10-year span. The Royals top five. They're fifth, and then last but not least here. Actually, I already went by the 10, so we're doing 12 years, I guess. Who won in 2014?
2014 was Boston. No, 2014
No,
was
Giants.
San Francisco. They won in 14 and 12 and 10.
Giants are an outlier. They're
Yeah, of course
10th.
they were an outlier. They were a wild card team who pitched the hell out of it, and Bruce
Yeah.
Bochy was just bringing a bunch of guys out to pitch.
Crazy.
And they
Well,
beat
really,
Detroit that year.
If we don't, let's just not even throw 2014 in there. So
Detroit had to be number one in plus minus, by the way.
For 2014,
Yeah, had to be.
Detroit was 7th.
I cannot believe it. They had the Max
The
Scherzer.
A's-
That was Scherzer Verlander.
The A's
Wow.
were number one. That's crazy.
No way.
So 2015 to 2025, which is a 10-year span, right? Talking a decade
Yes.
here. Top 7 teams, one of the top 7, always won the World Series. Nobody outside of it. So we're
Interesting.
talking it. You had to go from, and by the way, the Blue Jays were outside of the top 7 this past year. So it's a big deal. I think it's a big deal. I know people act like, this plus minus stuff is whatever, but I don't know.
It is technically whatever until somebody wins, and you have to. It's like it's not a literal legal requirement for you to win the World Series, but if you look at 20 years in history, and it tells you, hey, there really aren't teams at all that win the World Series outside of the top 10. Do you really want to find yourself and try to beat the odds? Not really. Right? You can't tell the Boston Red Sox fans, hey, when you go down 3-0, you have no chance to win the World Series. That's not true.
Mm-hmm.
Of course they could win the World Series. You don't want to be in that position because of the odds. And so all we're doing is giving you indications based on the numbers for the odds. And right now, based on our plus minus, it is a positive that the Yankees can take away. And Jersey Girl is back with a 5 and says Nolan Ryan and Randy Johnson had a baby. His name is Jacob. Whoa. Dude needed a speeding ticket. Nothing you can do but tip your cap. Till tomorrow. Completely agree. Mizarowski just dominated us. And Alex, thank you for the 10. And the lemon says, gonna miss. Oh my God. Al Jake Zero. Streams. Salute to Jake and Gary for hanging tough all week despite the circumstances. Feel like we got J-Dom, Jones, and Asthma unloaded all in 7 days. Best vacation ever. Alex, we really appreciate it. And guys, Jake's definitely exhausted. He's in the middle of a vacation and then still podcasting. But the biggest heroes of all this has been you guys still adapting to our wonky schedule You have no idea when we're going live. A lot of you are watching after the fact, and there's no shame in doing that. But we appreciate some of you guys for hanging tough and being up at 1, 2
Yeah.
o'clock in the morning and sticking with us and giving us an atmosphere to talk and really help carry the show. So thank you guys for doing that. Alex, appreciate you, my guy. And
Appreciate you,
Jake, I
Alex.
know I didn't want to say anything during the broadcast, but how about Mark and his
Insanity.
AI that he was doing yesterday? He took a screenshot of me. I looked exhausted. I
You
don't
always look like that, and I guess you didn't know that, so now you do.
And the crazy thing is, I'm not tired at all. I mean, it's because I come from a Jewish family. In our eyes, we always have bags. It just comes with the territory. So I
Oh,
look
that might be
exhausted.
me.
Yeah, I'm not tired at all. Like zero, zero. I'm gonna be up until, mind you, it's only 10 o'clock where I am.
Oh, it's
I'm
103
never tired.
here. I have to be on a plane in 5 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Well, good news. The show was only 30 minutes, just like you said.
Yeah, I know. Well, we were having fun.
We
It is
are.
what it is.
Alex, appreciate you. Our
Yeah,
favorite Dixie Normus is back with the 2.
your favorite.
Yep, my absolute favorite. Appreciate it with the 2. Says a shutout. Are we good or are we just playing trash teams? No, we are good. And we're not playing
I think
trash
they're
teams.
very good.
We're good. We just
Yeah,
have still something to prove, but we don't have a big enough sample size to prove it yet. So we'll see what they do. And Scott Ross, who's been a member for 9 months, thank you.
put this
We already
up,
did
but
that.
yeah, thank you, Scott.
And Slim, right, we're getting caught up here with the 10 and the lemon. Slim, welcome back. Says, I was at the game tonight, 3rd row, behind the Yankees dugout. I saw in person what a great leader Judge is. Also, Jones has a very long swing, and I was wrong. Jose is legit. F Volpe, and Jazz sucks.
Oh man, Slim never change.
I told you, Jake. I said Jazz is the worst player to watch struggle you'll ever see because he doesn't look like he's trying. He is,
I like the
but
hustle
he's not
on
fun
that
to
play.
watch struggling. He's
I
not
like the
fun.
hustle on that first grounder.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta give it to him. He almost beat it out, and I don't know too many that would have, but we appreciate you. And yeah, I see all the pieces. I see the vision. Like I said, I mean, if McMahon and Grisham are a part of this team at the end of the year, which I believe it seems like they're going to be, if they're hitting, this team's winning the World Series. And when you look at Jose Caballero and Ahmed Rosario coming off the bench, these are just minute details where if you can go back and look at a formula of a World Series team, it's those guys. Because you have your Judge, you have your Stanton, you have your Bellinger. Bellinger's going to be so much better this postseason than he was last year. I can tell you that
at least hope so.
right now. Aaron
God.
Judge seems like he's gotten away from the postseason woes. I feel confident he's going to be back. Stanton, by the way, had probably the worst postseason of his career. I think he's going to be back. There's a lot of pieces here, and I just think, with the starting pitching and everything, I feel really good about it. But yeah, it's just the whole point of that whole spiel was really Caballero. Watching how he's integrated into this whole thing. He's hitting close to 270 now. And that's not splitting it up since he found out that Volpe was going to be, taking rehab assignments. Because once he was announced that he was coming off the IL to do rehab or whatever, you could see instantly there was a different look in Jose Caballero's eye. And he's really thrived off that. And I love seeing it because this is a guy I want to be the shortstop of the New York Yankees until George Lombard Jr. eventually takes over.
Yeah, I see Cabby right now as the second baseman for next year, unless Jazz just has a turnaround we've never seen before. Jazz,
I want to throw one out there because you mentioned
Yeah.
second base.
I know exactly what you're saying. Go ahead. You got the floor.
All right. Remember this name, y'all. If Jazz Chisholm goes down, I don't want him to get injured. Let's make that clear. But if Jazz Chisholm gets banged up and he misses time at second, it's not going to be Anthony Volpe. It's not going to be Jose Caballero. And it's not going to be Ahmed Rosario. And it's not going to be Max Schumann. I'm telling you now, Marco Luciano, remember the name? We've talked about him on here before. He
Hmm.
just got called up today to AAA. Luciano is going to be a part of this team if Jazz goes down. I'm not going to lie to you right now. Luciano is how you instantly feel better about the Volpe thing not working out. Former top prospect, failed everywhere he went, comes to the Yankees. He's the hottest hitter in this system right now. Hottest hitter.
Where'd he come from?
So I believe he was not drafted. He was an international free agent for
Right.
the Giants, and he was
Okay.
like a top prospect. Like,
So this is
you
like a Jerkson Profar situation in San Diego, where top prospect,
hopefully
who's literally
without
the
the
number one
steroids.
prospect in baseball with Texas, didn't work out, and then yeah, you minus the steroids. It, I'm all for it. Obviously, I don't care where the talent comes from. I just want there to be talent and less excuses. And so far, it seems like they're definitely headed the right direction. Jake, I absolutely love this super chat. By the way, love it. So
I
Jackson
want
with
to.
the 5.
Oh yeah,
What's up?
yeah. Go ahead.
Very thought provoking. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the
Yes.
5. Says, our modern defensive metrics, Jake, I want to know what you think about this. Are they BS? By modern standards, Derek Jeter was a bad shortstop. I know
Yes.
this is a played out argument, but wanted to hear your take. So, Jake, we have 2 different metrics here.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the analytics metrics, and you've also got the eye test metric. What does it look like? Derek Jeter looked like an awesome shortstop. And he also, while he looked like it, he also was that awesome looking shortstop while winning. So the question is it even physically possible to go win 5 World Series championships while being defensively, as far as the metrics go, a bad shortstop? People tell me shortstop's the most important defensive position in the field. I don't see how anyone who actually listens to defensive metrics, and we're on the fence of it, can actually say that it's everything when they say, "Oh yeah, shortstop's that important," but then somebody who was the literal worst at it, I don't see how that adds up. But I want to know what your take is. Do you feel like the defensive metrics that says Jose Caballero is the number 1 defensive shortstop in the game today, do you take that with a grain of salt, or do you feel like it's just somewhat of an indication, or do you wipe it out and just watch the game like I do, right? What's your take on defensive metrics right now?
Well, I love Caballero, but I don't necessarily agree with the defensive metrics. I think anybody could show, that knows what they're watching. The eye test would have you believe he's an above average shortstop. I wouldn't say
Yes.
he's elite based on what
Mm-hmm.
the metrics would tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I also think Derek Jeter has become an underrated shortstop, which I think is funny because
Mm-hmm.
I think so many view him as overrated. But I think his defense, because they always add these metrics into the equation, I think he's become an underrated. He's not Omar Vizquel,
Right.
but I think the range, what he got to, I think he's actually become very underrated over the course of time, and I think he'll continue to get underrated to the point where people will start believing he just sucked. So I think there has to be like a give and a take. Like analytics you can use, totally get that, but you also, this is what I would say. Okay, this is my analogy. You drive with GPS on, right?
Oh,
I
I don't
use
go
Apple
anywhere without
Maps.
GPS, even if I know where I'm going.
Yeah, same here. I'll literally put it on to go back to my house. I've been on that route 200 times, whatever. Here's the thing. GPS is great, but you have to know how to drive a car before you use GPS. GPS cannot teach you how to drive a car. Can't teach you how to put it in park, reverse, can't teach you any of that. That's how I look at analytics. If
Mm-hmm.
somebody who just knows numbers is just telling you this and they don't actually know the sport, they don't know baseball, and you can tell these people exist, and you'd be surprised how many of them are out there. They've never played the game, but they look at a spreadsheet and they can tell you,
Twitter.
yeah, right. That's how I view it. Is you got to know how to drive before you use GPS. You have to
Yes.
know how to play baseball. You have to know the ins and outs. You have to understand feel. You have to understand baseball IQ before you bring over the spreadsheet.
Right.
So that to me kind of coincides with everything. How I think, some using AI here and there as a tool is great, but using it as the end all be all is the problem. The analytics department, like everything, it's become over reliant on, and I feel like that's Caballero is actually the perfect example because I get to sit here and you guys know how I feel about him, but I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think he's an elite fielder. I think there are times where the arm is a little spotty. I don't think he has the best accuracy.
Yes.
I don't think he gets to everything. Like Derek Jeter got to most of the things, most of the the ground balls and everything. I thought he had really good range. I don't really view Caballero as he has great range. I think he's got
What's funny that
okay
you say
range.
that, actually, majority of the baseball players, obviously they'll go nameless,
Mm-hmm.
but when I would be in dugouts and just meandering around, actually a lot of the opinions of players was that Derek Jeter's an excellent hitter, has a cannon for an arm, didn't actually have the best range, right? That's what the opinion of some of the
I think
players
his
was.
range was underrated.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fair. I mean, we're
Yeah.
all it's sports. In the end, it's sports. It's everyone has opinions. It looks different to other people. And you're not the first person to be like, oh, Jeter looked like the best shortstop, one of the best I've ever seen defensively. So how can the analytics possibly say he was that bad? I think the analytics are way overblown. Derek Jeter was not a bad shortstop. That's nonsensical. But
No.
having said that, you can't look at analytics and be like, no, the analytics say this. Well, then if the analytics say something and then you just take it as just the Bible, then what are you watching the sport for? For what? Why don't you just look at the box score and then look at the analytics and then just look at the game through that lens? If that's the way that you're going to consume the
This is
game,
a great super chat. To
what
get us to
sense is there
talk
really
like
for watching
this,
it?
I mean, this is a great super chat.
Right? I mean, if defensive metrics, now mind you, the Yankees suggest that we brought a certain player on the roster. That player, and we're going to use this very quickly, was Trent Grisham. The reason that they loved the pickup was because of his defensive metrics, and they also believed they could save the bat. They believed that there was more in there, and they were right about that. Now, having said it, those same defensive metrics have told us that Trent Grisham was a below average, wildly below average defensively last year. And then this year, he's slightly below average. And if we end the season, they're not going to acknowledge their analytics and how the analytics kind of let them down. They're just simply going to talk about how the analytics confirm their bias. And yeah, so Brian says most analytics people don't watch the games. Um, I don't want to put everyone in a bubble, but I would say this, Brian.
It feels like a lot of them don't though.
I want to give it a proper answer. Most loudmouths on the internet who feature analytics, they don't watch the games. So it really puts a bad rap on analytics and it gives people a bad taste in their mouth. Analytics should be a tool, but for some people, it's everything. And those people don't know baseball and you just shouldn't take them serious.
Yeah, I'm just kind of over it. But here's the thing, I feel like we're good at using it as a tool, and the people that want to use it as everything, I mean, to each their own. But at the same time, no one has an issue with the to each their own people, right? No one's ever been like, "Oh man, I hate that guy's opinion that he's never shared with me," right? No one has an issue with the people that keep to themselves. They have an issue with the people that are loudmouths assholes. And that's typically what you get from a lot of people on Twitter that are the WRC WOBA crowd, right? And so that's the thing. I mean, me personally, I think everybody we use opinions on this channel all the time. I mean, we'll have audience members like any of them. I mean, Ed W's brought up stuff that we've used. Welkin, right? We learn stuff from our audience. I can say, for instance, oh, who was that guy who banged up his knee in his debut against the A's, immediately I had 3 people saying
Yeah,
Dustin Fowler.
the sports
So
in talking sports isn't a test. It's not how much can you
no,
remember and how many different stats and geek nerd numbers can you just vomit out all in succession without having to look down at your notepad. That's not smart baseball mind. That is just somebody who didn't play ball and they memorized a bunch of numbers and it's supposed to be impressive. It is not. The only
it's
thing that should be
not.
impressive to you guys are people who think while looking at the numbers and also looking at the game. Should be doing all of these things simultaneously. Um, and so
Well,
Derek,
here's the
obviously, I don't know.
thing.
Did we read this, by the way? Did you mean to put this up?
Yes, I did, but we'll get to that in just a sec. I want
Mhm.
to say this. The thing that I think kind of sets you apart from other people is they'll hit people with like their analytics or whatever. You'll bring up ERA, WHIP, all that, and you'll explain, oh yeah, this is tunneling for the people that don't know at home. And you'll
Mhm.
explain this is pitch sequencing, right? And oh, by the way, he's going to the arm slot is here. And like you're combining, and this is why I love our show, is I think we try to take stats, use a little analytics, blend it up into a blender with watching the game and analyzing what's happening in the game. I think the danger of this analytics data spreadsheet driven analysis is that if you're not watching the games, like I feel like our audience deserves to hear, oh yeah, this pitch sequencing and going through, they deserve to hear that. They deserve to, okay, we watched the same thing. I didn't pick up on that. But when you have too many people that they're doing their entire show based on WOBA and WRC and Sierra and all of that, you're just basically spitting out stuff where if you just told everyone, hey, WRC is an actual thing, you can look it up. WOBA is an actual thing you can look up. Sierra is an actual thing. They could go and do that and find the freaking things that you're just. Ugh. But here's the
Doesn't it
thing:
also remove responsibility of the actual? There's not really a take being given because
there's no take.
it makes it actually seem like sports is something that is black and white. There's a clear right answer and there's a clear wrong answer.
It makes your
There are
podcast
people,
an aggregator. You're just spewing info and you're not actually adding anything.
they're basically like Chat GPT or whatever you
Chat
call it.
EBT, but yeah.
Chat EBT. Where it's
No,
just
they're like
they're just giving you, they're like, this is what happened today.
you
And
ever
this
see
is how we
NFL rums?
quantify it. And this is how it projects. And then if it ends up being wrong and that player plays poorly, they go, oh, he actually played below the model. It's like, you didn't even watch the game. Like you didn't actually take a stance on anything. And then if
No.
somebody disagrees with you, you get mad. I'm like, brother, you're not even giving opinions. And
It's
this
like,
is
have you
just
ever seen
frustrating.
NFL Rums? That Twitter account. I know I've shown them to you before.
NFL rums?
Yeah, it like rumors. So he blocked me because I called him out on his bullshit.
Oh,
Um,
I do. I think I know who that is. Yes.
it's oh, you know him personally?
No, God, no. I don't know these
Oh,
people
okay,
personally. No.
I know who it is, but that's not the point.
Oh,
Um,
ironic.
the point is it's super funny because he just will spread bunch of nonsensical BS, and that's an aggregator, right? So like he will put like, oh, Adam Schefter reports this, he'll put that out there, but then he'll put his own shit in there, like made
Oh,
up shit,
nice.
right?
Hmm.
But like when I say aggregator, I'm talking about somebody that literally is just like, I know you guys could find this if you Googled it in 5 seconds, but I'm going to make an entire podcast surrounding this exact topic for 40 minutes.
And it's
We
not
don't want
something
to
like
do that.
fun that they had to dig for, like what Katie
Yeah,
Sharp does. Like Katie Sharp is finding numbers that technically could be found if we all looked, but she's going to the next level where you wouldn't be able to uncover that information and digest the game that way if she didn't spend the time to do it. So it's
exactly.
extremely valuable when she does it.
Well,
Whereas there's a lot of people on Twitter, they're like, his woba, this is. And I'm like,
oh my
you're
God.
you're a bot. You're literally just a total bot. Not and obviously the viewership makes a whole lot of sense. But Derek Baseball with the two, well, his name is Derek Baseball 2, actually. Says defensive well, this makes sense. Defensive stats when Jeter was playing aren't defensive stats today. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, you didn't know where every single batted ball went, how fast it was. Now we do. Yeah, we just have more ways to measure, right? We know how hard guys are actually throwing the ball across the diamond. We know as far as where they're standing at point of contact, where they field the ball. We know all these different things. So Derek Jeter, there's not really a way for us to quantify the same way we do today. But I mean, who knows if that's a bad thing. And Scott Ross with the 2 says, has anyone had a worse walk year than Jazz? I'm sure there have been, but this is a pretty bad start. Me and Ed W actually were talking off air earlier today. We were talking about how bad this walk year is going for Jazz. And
it's not what you want.
It's not going great so far, but I also mentioned, just forewarning you guys, he's way too talented for his numbers not to look serviceable by the end of the year. He's still going to hit 240. He's still going to hit 20 plus homers. By the end of the year, the surface level numbers are going to look good. Just like Austin Wells. He's like, I hit 20 homers. We're like, you were dismal. Jazz is going to have that same type of year, just a little bit better. He's going to get paid. I just don't know if it's going to be with the Yankees. And our final super chat, Jake, from Donald with the 2, says McMahon and his oppo hit focus is very encouraging. I believe he's talking about the opposite field line out that he had. It was exploded out there. I mean, it was a great swing. Really liking what I'm seeing from Ryan McMahon. I obviously you agree, Jake.
Hey now,
but yeah,
another
it's
one
encouraging.
Of those swings, and we're gonna hear Trent Grisham like, "Oh, unlucky."
Yeah.
By the way, did you see the tweet?
True.
I think I might have been tagged in. I don't know if you were. One of our. Oh God, I found it. Okay, here it is. Mando Fett tweeted, added me in this. Just like you were saying on the podcast about Grish and Luck, right on the cover of MLB.com, there's no way, brother. There's no way. In the 3 for 5 game, maybe a sign of changing luck.
Now, mind you, I want to get out front of something, though, when it comes to luck.
Yeah.
Luck is a part of the sport, okay? We're all aware of the fact that this isn't a perfectly constructed game. You can hit the ball 120 miles an hour. You can break the StatCast record, hit a ball 135, and it can go straight to the second baseman, right? Seems unfortunate. However, when you start to extend the sample size into a larger sample size, and obviously the sample size we're discussing is August, September, October, right? Not spring training. We wipe that away. And then the beginning of the season now, there comes a point where you run out of time to suggest that luck is at your detriment all that time. Oh, I was lining out hard. And a lot of the times, guys, I actually brought this up on Twitter to someone I really respect, and we were having a great conversation, and they were really saying, well, if you hit the ball 120, that's a great at bat. I said, yeah, like at its surface for that one at bat, it is for sure. But if you ask yourself, how is it that Ichiro Suzuki never managed to have himself a bad baseball season due to luck? How's that possible? And he says, well, because he has a different hand-eye coordination and skill. I said, what skill? I know that he had more skill. I get that. But what are you really saying? Aren't you pretty much illustrating to all of us that there's more to hitting than just rate at which you hit the ball hard? And he goes, yeah, I think so. And I said, right. So if you're acknowledging the fact that baseball is not all about exit velocity and angles, maybe we'll get somewhere on the conversation of luck. Joe Girardi, who's a baseball mind that we both really respect on this show. Absolutely. He's an old school mind. He also on the broadcast today mentioned luck. When's Grisham's luck going to turn around? I also believe Trent Grisham has, for some degree, faced bad luck this season, hitting the ball really hard. That said, it's not your only job.
No.
Just 2 days ago, he had one of the best days of anyone on a roster. And Jake, the biggest hit he had of the night, pull shift in the field, he uses the opposite field to clear the bases. That's some ways that you can actually control your luck instead of just pulling the ball into a pull shift and going, I hit it 111. Luck will turn around. That's not how you change your luck. So some people think that the reason Grisham's not playing well is just a bad stroke of luck. I believe it's a combination of both, some bad luck and also poor adjustment. And it just is a culmination and brings us here. So obviously, I'm rooting for Trent Grisham. Get this all turned around. Hey, hit the ball over the wall. That way you don't have to worry about luck. But I see you've put someone on the screen. It is Yankee Fangirl for Life who says, Jake, I'm Mando Fett.
How about that? I never would have known that, Yankee Fangirl for Life, mainly because your
I knew
name
that.
is Yankee Fangirl for Life. But you might have probably said it before. I'm really bad with names, so never take it personally. But like you can jog my memory, and I'll be good. But I'm that guy, Gary, and I it hit me, uh, not that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be like, hey, I'm Jeff. Actually, this happened. I was playing golf. I felt awful because I'll never ask somebody for their name again. It's like anxiety, like very anxiety inducing.
Yes.
It's like, hey, I'm Jeff. Oh, I'm Jake. Totally forgot it after you said that. Totally forgot.
Oh, dude, that's actually a lot of people do that. It's actually not that big of a deal. Matter of fact, if you really think about it, if you forget someone's name and you go, hey, man, what was your name again? And they tell you, if you think about it, if someone did it to you, don't you take it as they want to know your name?
Yeah, I don't take it as like an offensive thing, but
Exactly.
I have anxiety. So like immediately, like little things like that is just like,
See, you got to be like
it's
me and you got to be on Lexapro. And that way you don't think about those things.
that's fair. So yeah, I don't even know how we got on that topic, but yeah. Oh yeah, Yankee Fangirl for Life. I apologize if you have told me in the past. Obviously, we're big fans of yours. You are a member of the channel, so I really do appreciate you. And if you're Mando Fett, that means that I've had a lot of fun interacting with you on Twitter because I typically love most of your tweets, especially when you tag us and stuff. So
Yeah.
appreciate
By the
you.
way, guys, please be sure if you come to our event September 8th, Mando Fett, Ninja Hot Dog. We hope to see Brian Bashman there, right? We want to see Guy there. We want to see as many of you there as possible. All of our members, all of our live chatters. September 8th against the Rockies. I believe that is a Tuesday. When you walk up to us, don't expect us to just know who you are because we've been talking to you. We don't have, for a lot of you, we don't have a face to you. When you come up to us, you've got to introduce yourself. And of course, we're going to talk baseball and talk everything that's going on. Hopefully, we're still in first place by then. I mean, I'd hope so. But
Yeah, no, definitely.
you have to keep in mind and bear with us. We're almost meeting you guys. I mean, we are meeting you for the first time, but it just feels like a fresh start once we actually do meet you. So we definitely hope to see all of you there, as many as possible. But Jake, is there anything else we wanted to discuss? Because we don't have voicemail since that was the opening game of the series. I believe we have two more games of the series. We do not see Mizorowski the rest of the series. That is a major positive.
Major
Spencer
positive.
Jones, major positive. Shouldn't, I would say he could be in the lineup, Spencer Jones, tomorrow, but there's a possibility he doesn't play lefty on lefty. So there's some flexibility to the lineup. We may see Rosario back in there for some burn, if you will. But is there anything else you wanted to talk about before your flight in about an hour and a half, 90 minutes?
You're not kidding. It's actually not that far away.
No, God, no. You need to call your Uber in literally like 2 hours.
No, I mean we'll dive into prize picks and probably just call it. So yeah, that's all I got. Let's see what we got here. I don't understand why the screen can't just be the full screen. Like, there we go. Cool.
You don't want that little empty border with nothing there?
No, I don't really want that, Gary. I don't think that looks very good.
Might be the
Anyway,
one time we'd actually like some AI where like they should just know you don't want that.
I know, but anyway. Yeah, so Aaron Judge, not the best showing today. I'm going to go with Aaron Judge to have more. Anytime I get that without the green, is that Goblin? Goblin. Anytime I get that without the Goblin, I'm going to take that because that's full value. This is reduced value. Jackson Churio's hitting over 500, but he's only played like 3 games.
Goldie's gonna
Rosario's
homer tomorrow, by the way.
definitely Belly.
No, Goldie. Well, Belly's gonna have an
Goldie.
impact. No, I won't say he's gonna homer. He's gonna have an impact. Goldie will start tomorrow.
Rosario is gonna homer tomorrow. It's a
Wow.
lefty.
Yeah.
So, yep. Gotta do it. Gotta do it for the culture. Spencer Jones. No, we're not doing that, but we'll do. Oh, they're kind of just.
They're not letting us go with half a total base.
Screw it.
Who do they think we are?
I believe. And then we just need to do one. And if I'm going to have anybody striking out, I'm going to have that dude that just came in to fill in for Lockridge.
Alex, we haven't won a slip all year.
That's not true. Remember?
No, I don't remember, actually.
All right. Well, after this, I'll show you. But yeah, we've lost a lot. Do we want to do the power play?
Our plus minus is not good right now, is what we're telling you.
Didn't you want to add Are You Good?
No, I wanted to add Paul Goldschmidt.
Okay, cool. Do you want one? Oh.
Give me 1.5 if they've got it.
They don't have it.
Oh, they know what they're doing because he's gonna hit a double tomorrow and that'll be it.
This is true. 10 to win 115.
That's diabolical.
Or do we want to go flex play?
Let's go flex play. We're budget unloaded right now. We need to get back in the win column. See one fall.
We definitely yeah, see? I told you we hit one.
We're in the books. How much did we win there? We gave
25-33. Just enough to honestly, it's better than Twitter. No, I'm kidding. For some people,
I got paid $76 from Twitter this morning. Speak for yourself.
I
was able to buy
42.
a single t-shirt at Aloe with it.
Well, oh. Anyway, you guys can check out Prize Picks. The link is in the description below. Play $5, get $50 instantly in lineups using the code HMA. And it's available in 40 states. And you know what? If you don't live in one of those 40 states, move or just figure it out. I don't know what else to tell you. So, yeah, that is Prize Picks.
It's gotten so late that people are clamoring for Gary Sanchez back on the Yankees roster. I think I'd rather do anything than have him back on this roster.
That's fair.
What is happening right now?
I don't know. There we go. Yeah. So I think that's gonna do it. Really do appreciate you guys. I mean, it's been a pleasure, being able to hang out with you guys every night, and it's not been easy. I'm exhausted. I did actually look at my steps, and guess what, Garrett? I want you to guess.
Yeah, the poor guy's been at an amusement park all week.
Guess how many steps? I know. Well, I know
how many steps you took. What, today or this week?
Since I arrived on Sunday.
Oh Saturday. My God. Well, the guess is I'm gonna make myself look really stupid here. I'm gonna say you took 36,000 steps.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
Did I just ruin it?
36,000? Is that your final answer?
Well, how many steps is a lot of steps for a day? Keep in mind, I work from home, so I don't take many steps.
Is preferred.
How many?
10,000 is preferred per day.
Yeah, but you're also walking around at an amusement park. You should be walking around like no one's ever seen it. How many is it? Is it? All right, you just go ahead and tell me.
For the entire time, Gary. Are you talking about today or for the entire time?
The entire time.
You're an idiot, and I'm about to tell you why. Okay. So doing the full scope of this, right?
Yeah.
You are going to look ridiculous. Are you ready for this?
Okay, so you walk 94,000 steps.
I haven't done the math yet. One sec.
Okay.
So we got all together since Saturday, right?
W said 150,000. If you took 150,000 steps, you better look like Giancarlo when you come back.
I can't open up a bag of chips, but I look
Yeah,
like
yeah. You just Jake comes in.
just. Oh yeah, don't mind if I do.
Yeah. So people are
No,
saying over 20,000. What was my guess again?
so you're an idiot. You guessed 20. You guessed 30 something thousand. It was 107,480.
Well, hey guys, you see how he called me an idiot? Just know he's calling everyone in the audience also idiots. They were in my ballpark. I said, what did so my number, look at Alex,
Guy thinks I did
57,000.
240,000.
Apex, 18,000. Ed W said 150,000. James, 200,000. 200,000 steps.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, I was not at the. I wasn't at the parks the whole time. I mean, I had some time in the resort. I had some time on the golf course, which you'd think I walked a lot, but we took a cart. So, um,
I just been on one of those little scooters.
oh my god, dude, do you see those automated golf carts now? They're hilarious, dude. Have you seen it? They
No.
have they have golf like the push carts.
No, this is
They
so
have
funny.
the steps unloaded. All right, that'll be the comment.
Yeah, we sure
Um,
will be.
the golf carts, right? The push carts. You know what I'm talking about.
Kind of.
I have one of them. Um, I have like a budget one, budget unloaded. But they're you push them, you put the bag, you push it. You know,
Hmm.
you've probably seen it before. It's like so you can
Probably.
walk, but like you don't have to carry your bags.
Sure. Yeah.
So I saw an automated one the other day.
What?
This thing was literally scooting, and this guy was trying to catch up to the robot.
It'll be in South Park at some point or another.
So funny. Yeah, just segue everywhere. Jake is in shredding season. Oh, you guys have no idea. Fitness Unloaded is upon us. I have
Yeah,
been
to be
a
technical,
fat
I believe
shit.
Ed was the
Yeah.
closest with his 250,000. He was the closest. You
I,
said it was 108K, I believe.
yes. 107,480. Yep. That's a lot of steps. The most I had, by the way, was today. It was 23,435.
And I didn't even leave my house today.
I don't even want to know what your steps look like.
I probably took 34 steps today to go to the fridge. No, I left the house today. Where did I go eat today?
You took more steps than Spencer Jones.
Please, dude. Stephen
No, because he
Hawking
got
took
to
more
second
steps.
base.
Stephen Hawking's taken more steps than I have. It's not even close. I don't go anywhere. I'm just a homebody who watches movies. Like, dude, when we get off this show, I'm going to watch this show on Hulu. Things are getting so outlandish. Everyone's out of ideas. It's a show about a hitman who has Alzheimer's.
Oh wow.
Dude, like my wife and I laugh about the plot all the time, but it's been entertaining. And that's how easily entertained I am. And I don't go many places, man. You
That
put
is
$1 billion
fair.
in my pocket, I wouldn't go anywhere. I'm telling you.
So I mean, in total, that's so since Saturday, was it 14.6, 21.7,
You need one of those little whoop things, is what you need.
27.8. Now I can do the math because I don't feel like doing that. It's 27.8 plus
And yeah, James, they do say that you do need a walk.
5.6.
So I agree with you. You need to move, otherwise you'll turn into a. I'm gonna start aging like Joel Embiid.
Somebody's gonna send you a walk, like the pan, because you said that.
No, no. Do you know what I'm talking about though?
Yeah. 43.1 miles, by the way, I walked this week.
Is it
So
called a whoop?
a whoop?
Yes. So it's
Whoopa?
this.
No, I told you I've had enough of my heart palpitations. I'm not ever going to get another watch that's like seek help immediately.
You don't want them to tell you there's a problem?
No. I'd rather just find out on my own.
There's a problem.
I told you that, right? I had heart
Yeah.
palpitations and my eye like I just got this really nice Apple Watch and it was just like seek help immediately, which only made my heart rate go up more.
Yeah, I see that. I think once it tells you that you need help, you should take it off. But yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
we'll see.
Look at Apex is right in there, the seed oil patrol. Yeah, well, you know what? We're cutting out all that shit because I've been a fat slob for the last I don't know how many months, but yeah.
I'm right
Swole
behind you. I'm
unloaded.
going to Disneyland in
Oh,
December.
nice.
So I'll get my steps in. It'll be the most steps I've gotten in probably a decade. So looking forward to it. But
Brian
Jake,
Bashman is so funny, dude. Did you see that?
what the whoop? There it is.
No, look at the most recent one.
Jake is in quarantine because he caught the hantavirus. Yeah, Jake was on a cruise and he doesn't want to tell anybody. I saw that the person who actually started it, they went to like what is it called? Like a landfill. And somehow, some way, they touched basically rat buns and brought on the virus onto the ship. Here's my hot take on that. They should not have let any of those people off that ship ever. Just
No,
leave them on there.
did you see the thing? It's like when patient zero when there's it's like it's like I can't wait to infect everyone. Yeah, I know.
I mean,
It's
so stupid.
ridiculous.
Like, I know they're like, but they're people. I go, no, they're people who could get me sick. I don't want to do this whole indoor thing again. Let everybody
Gary
else
hates
go outside.
people. Send.
No, actually, I'm a people person, but I want to see
You are.
people when I choose to see people.
I hate people for the most part. I do not like them. And after spending a week at Universal, I love Universal. I do
Yeah.
not love people. I got rammed into today by like some dude who was just like walking like this with his hands behind his back. He just runs into me and doesn't say a damn thing, and I just go, "I'm walking in." It's like, what else am I supposed to say? I'm from New York, so I can say that technically, but
That's true. You can't do the same
dude,
stuff here in Arizona because I mean it's the wild,
it's
wild west out here. By the way,
it's unreal.
do you see Alex's post here? He says
Gary
Gary's
gonna
going to be on
put
the
on the
IL.
IL with a calf straight after Disneyland.
Dude.
You have to go on the Indiana Jones ride. It's so good.
I've been to Disneyland 1,000 times. I've been on every ride 1,000 times.
Okay, so the Indiana Jones ride is really good.
Yeah, and it's broken down every time I go.
Nope, that's Space Mountain.
Space Mountain's also usually broken down. The lights
Space
will be
Mountain
on.
is always on the IL. The Space Mountain is on the DL. Like it's literally on
Yeah.
the 60-day disabled list. Every
Okay,
time
so
I go on
Space
there.
Mountain is Giancarlo Stan.
No, Space Mountain is
Oh, Ben
Carl
Rortvet?
Pavano.
Carl Pavano or Ben Rortvet. It's almost the
Oh,
ride
he doesn't exist according to Michael
Exactly.
Kay.
For sure. By the way, Jake, so we want them because you've got a flight to catch. I know you don't care, but you will care here in the next couple hours.
I do care, but it's hard because I get to talk with one of my best friends,
I
and
appreciate it.
we do this literally for like an income. So
It is true. It is a job. Yeah, we are very lucky. Jake, we want them to put there was some I'm pretty sure it was Brian.
Space Mountain equals
No, it was
32.
steps unloaded. Drop steps unloaded in the comment section, not in the live chat, because it'll just vanish. into the comment section after we're gone and Jake is getting ready for his flight and going through security. Hop into the comments. Space Mountain is Jacoby Ellsbury. Yeah. Yeah. Or the Jungle Cruise, because it's just a terrible ride. But
Oh man.
Jake, if you had 2 Red Bulls, dude, you would just
my heart would explode.
you would just pop. Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart. But guys, drop that in the comment section if you stuck around. If you're new here and you waited 2 hours and 10 minutes to subscribe, I'm not sure what you're doing, but go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hype the video below. It should be down in the comment section. If you see it, use it. If you don't, move on with your life. And before you go, guys, be sure to write it down in your calendars that we're doing an event September 8th at Yankee Stadium. We want to meet you. All you need is a ticket to the game. Go to Audi Club and make a reservation. Should be on open table around the break at the All-Star break. So, Jake, make them like this video, please.
Like the video, please.